Hello and welcome to Bogosity, the show where we wrong the rights, or at least things that people think are right, like when they see faces in things that aren't really faces, or hear messages that aren't really there, or think that hidden messages can go straight into your subconscious mind. It's a particularly stupid form of bogosity stemming from a very common effect known as pareidolia. This is the effect of seeing familiar shapes in things that are basically noise. We've all looked up and seen shapes in the clouds, some of them amazingly close to what the thing really looks like, but somehow put it in a different setting and especially make it a religious image, and people start thinking it's real all over the place. Stupid! Like this tortilla, which somehow has the face of Jesus in its burn marks. Or is it General Zod? Or this piece of grilled cheese sandwich, supposedly showing the Virgin Mary, but I think it looks more like Shirley Temple. And my personal favorite, the nun bun. Although to me it looks more like Mother Teresa. Oh wait, that's who it's supposed to look like. It's kind of fun, isn't it? But it's really just a quirk of how our brains work. Scientists have discovered, using Bayesian models, that the human brain, when given a vague stimulus, fills in the details. And it does this with bias. It's biased towards your own experience, trying to make it fit in with what you've seen before. It's biased by context, trying to make it fit into the surroundings. And it's biased by what you're told to expect. It can happen to anyone, even scientists trained in the art of observing.
And I got up in the morning, and I go into my bathroom, and I take a shower. And after my shower, I am wet. So I reach out to get my towel. As I'm toweling myself off, I look on the shower curtain, and there is a pattern in the shower curtain. Where the pattern I saw was so strikingly like a face that I was moved emotionally. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I thought, wow, I'm getting a vibration, an energy from this face. It was the face of someone who I felt was possibly a bad man. Maybe he wanted to be a good man, but he was a bad man. I think he was responsible for a lot of pain and suffering, possibly a lot of deaths. What I realized is that it was a picture of Lenin. Look at that. And I mean, look at this: the eyebrows, the beard, a little bit of the tie. There's even the shadow on his forehead here.
Why does this happen? Well, there's a built-in part of our brains dedicated to seeing these patterns. In fact, it's the very basis of intelligence. Faces in particular are easily found because thousands of years ago, if you didn't see the predator, you got eaten, and didn't get to pass your unobservant genes on to the next generation. But if you saw the predator before he strikes, you could evade the predator and live to have children that can do just what you can. But the interesting thing is, there was never any evolutionary pressure to weed out false positives. If you thought you saw a predator where there was none, no harm, no foul. You still got to live to reproduce. So our brains are actually biased towards seeing faces and other patterns where they just don't exist. Like in this picture of the towers burning on 9/11. This is, according to some people, the face of an actual demon responsible for the destruction. Apparently, some people want to shift responsibility away from the 19 mass-murdering scumbags who actually flew the planes into the towers. They find all sorts of pictures like this, of demon faces in the smoke. It looks dark and sinister, but really, this face would have only been there for a fraction of a second, and wouldn't have been seen at all had it not been for a photographer snapping the picture at just the right time, or someone looking at a video frame by frame. When people start to think that these things are really there, they open themselves up to delusion, or even paranoia. They start calling them miracles, and even worse, start getting scammed out of their money. The Virgin Mary sandwich actually sold on eBay for $28,000. But even if you're not asking for a penny, even if it's just attention you're getting, you're still spreading bogosity and leading people into a frame of mind that makes them much more easily deceived. Especially by people like this bozo. This is Richard Hoagland, who was either a complete nutcase or an inveterate con man.
He, on the screen, projected kind of like this, a picture showing the face on Mars. And he pointed to it and he said, you know, isn't it funny what tricks of light and shadow can do? Big laugh from all us assembled press people. It wasn't a trick of light and shadow. When you do the actual computer processing, it's a stunningly symmetrical statue.
Bogus!
We've had umpteen images now. We've had other independent, you know, computerized enhancements of the various data.
Well, one other thing we have is better pictures of the area. The Mars Global Surveyor took pictures of the area in 2001. You can see how it kind of resembles a face when the light hits it in just the right direction. In 2007, the HiRISE camera aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter took a much higher resolution picture, with the light coming from a different angle. As you can see, it no longer resembles a face at all. It's just an illusion.
Once again, we have Richard Hoagland to the rescue. Once again, that's him on the right. But it does look like a face, and this is how Hoagland is made his fame. He's got a book out about it, and he says that the face is surrounded by a city, and there are pyramids and barracks, and he sees all sorts of things by basically taking these pictures, making them into JPEGs, which is the best way to maintain the integrity of a picture. But he sees all these pictures, and I think it also helps to, you know, but...
Meanwhile, back on Earth, I think, the latest religious pareidolia nutcase craze has taken the internet by storm.
And he goes, Louis, it's a cell adhesion molecule. Protein molecule? He said, no. You got to see laminin. You should see laminin, I guess. That's the thing, right? Okay. Here is a scientific diagram of the laminin cell adhesion molecule that's holding your body together right now. Okay, this is what I found right here.
Yes, they're actually impressed. Weep for the children.
No, come on, that's crazy.
Yes, it is crazy. Thank you for saying one thing, right?
I just can't believe it. And he sends me this image, an electron microscopic image of an actual laminin protein molecule. It looks just like this.
The scary thing is, many of these people vote.
I'm like, how crazy is that? That the stuff that holds our bodies together, that's holding the lining of your organs together, holding your skin on, is in the perfect shape of the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ.
If he thinks that's perfect, he must work for the post office. Okay, a lot of what he said about laminin is true. It's the cell adhesion molecule responsible for the formation of the basement membrane. It has 4 arms, 3 of which bind to other laminin molecules, and so it forms these long sheets. The 4th arm binds to the cells. The result is that this lattice structure of laminin molecules anchors the capillaries to the epithelial cell membrane. What he didn't tell you is that the laminin also provides a binding site which allows tumors to be much more aggressive than they otherwise would be. You see, the basement membrane is there in part to protect the cell from invaders, but the structure of laminin makes it vulnerable to attack by tumors. I wonder what God's plan for that is. But Giglio is also guilty of cherry picking. Here are some images of laminin taken with the atomic force microscope at the physics department of the University of California at Santa Barbara. Notice that the L-in-1 diagram does indeed have the cross shape, but this is just for human convenience. Only 1 or 2 of the molecules pictured take anything resembling the shape of a cross. Look at how many different configurations it can form. How about this one? It's a bird! It's a plane! No, it's a laminin molecule! Or space. The long bar at the bottom of the keyboard. These are the voyages of the starship Laminin. Yeah, pareidolia is a lot of fun. That is until someone like Richard Hoagland or Louis Giglio comes along and tries to scam you with it. Religion seems to be especially prone to this. Besides, a cross is an easy shape to make accidentally, and people tend to see them everywhere, even where they were never intended to be.